time to flex our brains and dive deep into building stronger biceps. We've got a stack of research here, mostly from the Iron Hour podcast. And full disclosure, I've been guilty of maybe, skipping bicep day a time or two.
Well, you're not alone. A lot of people focus on the how biceps look.
Yeah, those mirror muscles.
Exactly. But biceps are actually crucial for so much more. Think about all the pulling and lifting you do in a day.
Okay, yeah. Groceries, that heavy door at the gym.
You got it. Strong biceps equal a powerful upper body, which just makes life easier. And let's not forget about athletic performance.
True. Remember how I was struggling with pull-ups? Maybe my biceps were holding me back.
Could be. Pull-ups definitely need strong biceps, along with your back and shoulders, of course. It's all connected.
Right. Okay, so biceps are important, I'm convinced. But before we get to the best exercises, can we do a quick anatomy refresher? What are we actually working with here?
So the bicep, or biceps brachii, has two heads. The long head gives you that peak, and the short head adds thickness.
Peak and thickness, got it.
But there's another muscle that often gets forgotten, the brachialis. It sits under the biceps and adds to overall arm size.
The brachialis, huh? I've never really thought about that one before.
It's important, though. Understanding the brachialis can actually help prevent injuries. You know how some people get elbow pain during bicep training?
Oh yeah, I've definitely felt that twinge before.
Well, if it's in the elbow, you might be overworking your brachialis. It could mean you need to adjust your grip or change exercises.
Wow, that's a good point. I never knew that. So knowing the different muscles can help us train smarter and avoid pain.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready for the fun part now. What does the Iron Hour recommend for top bicep exercises?
They highlighted 5. Barbell curls, dumbbell hammer curls, incline dumbbell curls, chin-ups, and concentration curls. A good mix.
Classic barbell curls, I know those. And hammer curls, that's palms facing each other, right?
Yep. And those are great because they hit the brachialis and forearms too, along with your biceps. So multiple muscles at once. Efficient. And what about incline dumbbell curls? Those always look kind of awkward.
Well, the incline stretches the long head of your bicep, which gives you a more pronounced peak over time.
So that's the secret. I've always wondered, okay, and chin-ups. Those are tough, but they work multiple muscle groups, right?
Exactly. Chin-ups work your back, shoulders, and core, along with your biceps. Plus, you're lifting your own body weight, which adds an extra challenge.
Okay, I'm adding those back into my routine. And lastly, concentration curls. Are those just about, concentrating really hard?
Pretty much. By sitting and resting your elbow on your thigh, you eliminate momentum and really isolate the bicep.
It's all about that mind-muscle connection, huh? Speaking of which, I'm sure everyone makes mistakes in the gym. What are some common bicep training errors we should avoid?
Well, based on the Iron Hour, using too much momentum is a big one.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been guilty of that. Just trying to get that weight up. I get it, but when you use momentum, your muscles aren't really doing the work, and that can lead to less muscle growth and even injuries.
Ouch, okay. So what, should we be going super slow?
Not necessarily. It's more about controlling the movement and not swinging the weight up. Another mistake is rushing the eccentric phase.
The eccentric phase, what's that?
It's when you lower the weight.
Oh, so like the down part. I thought that was just, getting ready for the next rep.
Nope. That lowering phase is super important for muscle growth. It actually creates more micro tears in your muscle fibers.
So I should be focusing on lowering the weight slowly.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You're working the muscle through the entire range of motion.
Okay. I've definitely been guilty of rushing that part. What about overtraining? Can you actually overtrain your biceps?
Absolutely. Biceps are relatively small muscles, so they don't need tons of sets to grow. Overtraining can actually hinder your progress by preventing proper recovery.
So I shouldn't be doing bicep curls every single day.
You don't need to. Remember, exercises like rows and pull-ups already work your biceps indirectly. It's all about balance.
Right, so if I'm already doing those, I can focus on biceps less often. Makes sense. Is there anything else we should avoid?
Don't forget about your triceps and forearms.
Oh, right. I always hear strong triceps are important for overall arm size.
Exactly. They make up about 2/3 of your upper arm mass. And strong forearms are important for grip strength, which helps with a lot of exercises.
So it's really about balance, working all the muscles in your arms. I've definitely been guilty of neglecting my triceps and forearms. So how do we unlock that bicep growth potential? Spill the secrets.
The Iron Hour highlights 4 key areas: progressive overload, the mind-muscle connection, exercise variety, and rest and recovery.
Okay, let's break those down, starting with progressive overload. What is that exactly?
It's basically challenging your muscles to get stronger over time. You do this by increasing the weight, the reps, or by choosing harder exercises.
So pushing your muscles to do a little more each time. But how do you know when to increase the weight or reps?
It's about finding that sweet spot, challenging yourself, but not going too far. You should feel like you're working hard, but not sacrificing form or risking injury.
Gotcha. So it's about pushing yourself, but listening to your body too. Now, what about this mind-muscle connection? What's that all about?
The mind-muscle connection is about being present during your workout and focusing on the muscle you're working.
You mean not just going through the motions?
Right. It's about feeling the muscle contract and stretch, making sure it's doing the work, and not relying on momentum.
Interesting. So how do you get better at that?
It takes practice, but try starting with lighter weights and focusing on slow, controlled movements. Really pay attention to how the muscle feels.
Okay, I can try that. It's like mindfulness for your muscles, right?
Kind of. It's about bringing your awareness to the present moment and feeling the muscle work.
I like it. What about exercise variety? Why is that important?
Well, our bodies adapt. If you do the same exercises week after week, your muscles will get used to it. Switching things up keeps your muscles challenged.
That makes sense. It's like you don't want your muscles to get bored, right?
Exactly. And it helps prevent plateaus, too.
Right. So mixing things up is key. Now, last but not least, rest and recovery. How much rest do our biceps really need?
They need rest like any other muscle. Aim for at least 1 to 2 days of rest between bicep-focused workouts.
So working them out every other day, something like that.
That's a good starting point. It's during rest that your body repairs those tiny tears in your muscle fibers, leading to bigger, stronger muscles.
So it's not just about working out every single day, it's about giving your muscles time to recover and actually grow.
Exactly. You break down the muscle tissue during your workout, and then you build it back up stronger during rest.
Got it. Speaking of rest, I think it's time for us to take a quick break ourselves. We've covered a lot of ground already, the importance of biceps, the anatomy, the best exercises, common mistakes, and those crucial growth factors. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back soon to dive even deeper. Okay, so before the break, we were getting into those 4 factors for bicep growth, remember? Progressive overload, the mind-muscle connection, exercise variety, and good old rest. We touched on progressive overload, but how do we actually put that into practice? Any tips for, gradually increasing the challenge?
Well, you could try adding a bit more weight each week. Say you're curling 25 pounds now. Next week, bump it up to 27.5.
Small increases, got it. What about reps, though? Should I be increasing those, too?
You can definitely play with reps. Instead of adding weight, try adding reps. So if you're doing 3 sets of 10, next week, shoot for 3 sets of 12.
So you've got options. What happens if I, hit a wall and can't add more weight or reps?
That's a good time to change exercises. If you've been doing standard barbell curls, switch to hammer curls or maybe inclined dumbbell curls. Remember, variety is important.
Right, keeps things interesting for the muscles. So progressive overload isn't just about lifting heavier, it's about making it tougher over time in different ways. Makes sense. Can we go back to the mind-muscle connection for a sec? I'm still not quite sure I get it. You said start with lighter weights, slow movements, but how else can I, tap into that?
One trick that helps me is visualizing the muscle working. Picture your bicep contracting and lengthening as you curl.
Really? Close your eyes and see it.
You can. It sounds kind of weird, but trust me, it makes a difference.
So it's meditation, but for your muscles.
Yeah, kinda. It's bringing your focus to the moment and really feeling the muscle work.
Okay, I gotta try that. I can see how that would help make sure you're actually working the right muscle, not cheating with momentum or anything. Now, about rest. You said 1 to 2 days between bicep-focused workouts, but what about active recovery? Can I do other stuff on those days?
Active recovery is great. Light activities like walking, swimming, some gentle yoga, all good.
So rest doesn't mean I have to just lay on the couch?
Nope. You can still move around and get the blood flowing.
What about, stretching or using a foam roller? Is that good for recovery?
For sure. Stretching helps with flexibility, and foam rolling can help with muscle tension.
Okay, adding those to my routine. Now, here's a question I bet a lot of people have. How often should we be training biceps? Once a week? Enough? Twice? More?
The Iron Hour folks recommend 1 to 2 bicep-focused workouts per week. But remember those compound exercises like rows and pull-ups?
Yeah, they work biceps too, right?
Right. So if you're doing those, you might not need as much direct bicep work. It's all about finding that balance.
So listen to your body. If I'm at the gym a lot already, maybe 1 dedicated bicep session is enough. Okay. You mentioned earlier how important it is to train triceps and forearms along with biceps. Can you explain that a bit more? Why is that balance so important?
Well, imagine a door with just one hinge. It's not going to work well. Your arms are similar. If you only work biceps, you're missing other muscles that contribute to arm strength and stability.
So it's like the whole arm system got to work together.
Right. Triceps help you straighten your arm, and forearms, well, strong grip is crucial for all sorts of exercises.
Makes sense. So even though we're talking biceps today, got to remember those other muscles too. What are some good tricep and forearm exercises?
Oh, tons. For triceps, you've got triceps pushdowns, overhead extensions, close grip bench presses. And for forearms, things like wrist curls, reverse wrist curls, farmer's carries, all good stuff.
Wow, so many options. This is making me realize how much more there is to learn.
That's the thing about fitness. The more you learn, the more you see how everything's connected.
So true. Okay, I want to hear your final thoughts. Like, how does all this tie together?
What gets me is we have so much control over our bodies. We can literally build and shape our muscles just by putting in the work. And it's not just about how it looks, it's about feeling healthier, stronger, more capable.
Totally. It's about feeling good in your body, being able to do the things you want to do.
Exactly. It's about being empowered to live a more active life.
Okay, I love that. I think we've pretty much covered everything about biceps today. Anatomy, exercises, growth factors.
Yeah.
We really went deep. But before we wrap up, I have one last question for you and for our listener.
Hit me.
We talked about the eccentric phase, slowing down the lowering part of an exercise. But how can we use that idea for other exercises, not just biceps?
Ooh, that's a good one. And you're right, it's not just for biceps. That slow, controlled lowering is key for muscle growth in all exercises. So next time you're at the gym, I want you to think about that. Whether you're doing squats, push-ups, shoulder presses, whatever, really pay attention to that lowering part and see how it feels.
That's a great challenge. It's like these small changes can make a big difference.
Exactly. It's the little details that really take your workouts to the next level.
Well said. I'm ready to hit the gym now.
That's the spirit. Remember, building strength takes time and consistency. Stick with it, you'll get there.
And don't forget about slowing down those movements, not just for biceps, but for everything. Who knew that lowering the weight slowly could be so important?
It's often the things we don't think about that matter most.
So true. Well, I think that about wraps up our bicep deep dive. Man, we really packed in a lot about biceps today, from like the nitty-gritty of anatomy to all those growth factors. You've given me, and I'm sure our listener too, a whole new way of thinking about training them.
It has been a pretty in-depth look, hasn't it? But remember, it doesn't stop here. There's always more to learn about fitness, always new ways to challenge yourself.
So true. It's like a journey, not a destination. Right?
Exactly. And speaking of learning, I have to say, I picked up some new stuff myself today. I never really thought about how much I was rushing through the eccentric phase, or, how important those triceps and forearms are.
Yeah, got to keep those other muscles strong too. Balance is key, like you said.
It's all about the bigger picture.
Right. And now, I think our listener is armed and ready to hit the gym.
That's what I like to hear. Just remember, it takes time, okay? Don't get discouraged if you don't see results right away. Every workout counts.
It's about consistency, right?
Absolutely. Just keep showing up, put in the work, and most importantly, have fun with it.
I'm feeling motivated already. Can't wait to try out some of these tips.
That's the spirit. Fitness should be something you enjoy.
Totally. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our bicep deep dive for today.
It's been a pleasure chatting with you and with our listener, of course. Keep those questions coming, keep learning and keep pushing those limits.
Love it. And to our listener, keep lifting, stay strong, and never stop learning. Until next time, happy training.